Hello, everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Big up to everyone. I hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all of you. Listen, it's another day, another day in the life of Chelsea moving forward. That's the way it looks. We're moving in the right direction. You know what they say, one step at a time. It seems like we're literally doing that. One day you see one good thing, the next day you see another good thing. Sometimes you get a couple of good things, but generally it's like just ticking along, climbing the mountain. I hope you were all doing well. Big up to everyone. We're going to be talking about Newcastle's interest in Nicholas Jackson. We're also going to be speaking about Cucurella and the new contract offer, which hopefully will be on its way. This has always been one of my biggest concerns. And I'm very, very pleased to see that Chelsea are addressing those concerns and basically they're going to renew Cucurella's contract, even though he's not on one of the low wage ones. So that's great. I mean, we're actually willing to spend some money to retain, a player who is already world class, if we're totally honest with you. And that was always one of my fears. Are we only going to prioritize young players? But it doesn't look that way. It looks like Cucurella will be getting a new deal, and big up to him. He deserves it. He absolutely deserves it. And yeah, look forward to seeing Chelsea getting that done. I mean, we've shown that we are more than capable of renewing contracts if we want to. We've done it with Jackson. We've done it with Palmer. We're in the process of negotiating a new contract for Caicedo as well. All of our best players should be rewarded. They should be given the opportunity to stay at Chelsea for longer and given a pay rise, to be quite frank. Money's not everything, but it's definitely a form of appreciation that no one can argue with. If someone's giving you a lot of money, probably means they trust you, and you'd like to think that they appreciate you. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. Good to see you all. We've got over 150 as it stands on all platforms. If you are on YouTube, let's get straight up to 25 likes on YouTube. Smash that like button straight away. Come on, people. Appreciate everyone watching. Run it up. And if you're on X, you can do the same thing. All right, let's get straight up to 50 likes on X. Get a couple of retweets in as well. It all helps. It all helps. Okay, come on then, people. No Face Chelsea says we should take any offer above 60 million and run. Obviously, I know you're talking about Nicholas Jackson there. Hello, good to see you, mate. Cucurella is the best left back in the world. He's not going anywhere. Will become a Chelsea legend soon. Big up to you, Luke. I'm hoping the new wage structure is basically we won't pay you high wages until you prove it at Chelsea or in the Prem itself. Fair. That's not even a bad shout. I haven't got anything against that. Big up to Jordan. I hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I agree, Luke. Big up to Stephen. His Newcastle ownership secretly back in Chelsea while owning Newcastle. Who knows? Great news about the Cucurella contract. I'm absolutely with you on there. But he is a left back, Jordan. Remember, he's not a right back. He's a left back. KDH to Everton. Great move for David Moyes. I think that KDH is going to thrive at Everton. And I think that David Moyes is basically like just a champion of getting the best out of, those players that people look at and nobody really fancies them. Usually they're English, to be honest with you. And, they can do a job, but no, they don't really have that spark. And I feel like David Moyes is able to get more of that spark out of those type of players than any manager. I mean, I'm trying to think at like West Ham. He had Ward-Prowse. He had Thomas Souček, like Bowen. Like these guys weren't really spoken about before David Moyes got involved with them. And I think Everton looked a lot better when he come in as well. Beto scoring goals, doing better, like the team as a whole, just looking more attractive to watch. So I think Dewsbury-Hall will be an immediate starter. And I think it's a very smart signing from an Everton perspective, and interesting as well when we look when we talk about Dewsbury-Hall. He's done a he did a post on Instagram, and this was the picture that he posted, holding the Conference League trophy and the Club World Cup trophy. as well, which is very entertaining to see. I mean, that's great. It says memories to last a lifetime. Thanks for everything, Chelsea. It's obviously on Chelsea's website now as well. It's official now that he's left Chelsea and has completed a permanent transfer to Everton. And if you go on the Chelsea website, which I will, we'll give him some credit. It says he joined from Leicester in the summer of 24, and he made 36 appearances across all competitions last season. He leaves Chelsea as a European and world champion, having been part of the group that won the Conference League and the Club World Cup trophy. We thank Kiernan for his efforts throughout his time at Chelsea and wish him well as he begins a new chapter in his career. So yeah, listen, big up to Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall. Honestly, credit to you, mate. He is a player that has always had a good attitude, and you can never ever say anything negative about a player from an effort perspective when they're given 110%. You can say they're not good enough. You can't say they don't care. You can't say that they don't have the mentality to at least succeed somewhere. Because it might not be at Chelsea, but wherever you go, if you've got that mentality, you're going to succeed at some point, right? We're going to move on to The Guardian, straight on to The Guardian, people. Now, there's an expert from The Guardian, and basically he's talking about Garnacho and Xavi Simons. It's also, I think there's a little bit of a mention of Nicholas Jackson in there as well. Let's have a little read, shall we? Chelsea step up efforts to sign Garnacho and Simons in an attacking reshuffle. Newcastle eyeing Nicholas Jackson after the Sesko blow. And then obviously Dewsbury-Hall, which we've just spoken about. Chelsea are to step up attempts to sign Alejandro Garnacho from Manchester United and Xavi Simons from RB Leipzig, and could sell Nicholas Jackson as they continue to reshape their attacking options. The club have brought in Liam Delap, João Pedro and Jamie Gittins, and moves for Garnacho and Simons are understood to be their priority. Garnacho has played no part in United's pre-season and is thought to be available for around 50 million. Although Chelsea are understood to be reluctant to pay that. The Argentina forward is believed to be keen on a move to Stamford Bridge after Ruben Amorim made clear the 21-year-old is no longer a part of his plans at Old Trafford. Chelsea are yet to make an official approach, but are likely to do so, with United seeking to balance their books as they close on the signing of Benjamin Sesko from Leipzig. Chelsea are in talks with the German side over Simons, who is understood to agree personal terms despite interest from Bayern Munich. The 22-year-old, who can play in several attacking roles, joined Leipzig from PSG in January for 50 million euros, and he signed on a 2-year contract. And he had 2 successful loan spells before that. He's expected to cost around £61 million. And Harvey Elliott is looking to be a replacement. So again, that kind of links. We said I did a video about this, which I'm going to upload straight after, speaking about the fact that the Harvey Elliott deal is probably going to happen if they get the money for Xavi Simons. But if they don't get the money for Xavi Simons, they're probably not going to buy Harvey Elliott, and that seems like a logical move. Otherwise, they're just spending money that, to be quite frank, Leipzig wouldn't normally spend. Jackson is understood to prefer to stay at Chelsea despite the arrivals of Delap and João Pedro dropping him down the pecking order. But Chelsea are believed to be willing to sell the Senegal striker for the right price. Newcastle could be an option if, as expected, they miss out on Sesko. And Jackson also has interest from Milan and other Italian clubs, but Chelsea could demand £80 million, which seems a little bit much, to be honest. Chelsea's 19-year-old Spanish striker Mark Guiu is poised to join Sunderland on loan. Having completed his medical on Wednesday, and Everton have completed the signing of Dewsbury-Hall on a 5-year deal. Burnley are closing in on signing Broha and Ugachukwu for 20 million. And Dortmund are in talks with Chelsea over a permanent deal for Carney Chukwuemeka, who spent part of last season on loan in Germany. And then you can see, obviously, who we've sold already. So, I mean, basically, let's just go through this just in a bit more detail. I've sort of skimmed through that article there. Chelsea are basically looking to get a little bit more serious about Garnacho. and Javi Simmons. So we're hopefully looking to wrap those deals up. But again, I feel like we have to sell more before that's going to get over the line. If what people have said is true, and we need to go in there and sell before we can invest, that is just the logical play here. The logical play is to get rid of Disasi, to sell a player like Jackson and Kunku, Chilwell, Vega. Obviously, we've got Raheem Sterling as well. We're trying to offload. And if we can get rid of a number of those players, it just puts us in a much more comfortable position to be able to spend. We have done a deal with UEFA as well, by the way. So we basically said we won't register any more players in our UEFA squad until we've offloaded that with sales. So if we're just spending money, then we risk not being able to register those players in UEFA competitions, i.e. the Champions League, if we weren't able to sell other players. So we're not going to put ourselves in a position where, you know, we're basically desperate to sell, because otherwise we're in big trouble. We want to get that out of the way first, and then we can bring some of these players in. And I don't think there's any issues with that. I think that's just smart business, to be quite frank. But I can appreciate that some people are a little bit impatient, and that's fine. Listen, I respect the hustle. You want Chelsea to be successful, but they want to try and do things by the books. I think in terms of an accounting perspective, we have been quite switched on. There's no denying Chelsea's accounting has been spot on recently. Again, this is what it also said in the article. Nicholas Jackson is understood to prefer to stay at Chelsea, despite the arrivals of Delap and Pedro dropping him down the pecking order. But Chelsea are believed to be willing to sell him for the right price. So I'm going to ask you in the chat now, what is the right price? What do we sell Nicholas Jackson for? What is he worth in your opinion? And irrespective of whether the money was right or wrong, like in an ideal world, would you rather keep him at Chelsea or not? Because some people hate Jackson, some people like him. I like him. And to be fair, I do feel like there are a lot of people out there that also like Jackson, but they share the same opinion as me, being that we want him to stay. We appreciate the depth he can offer. We know he's not ahead of Delap or João Pedro. But at the same time, like, are you going to ever have a better third choice striker in your team? I think the answer is quite frankly no. I think that's the answer, isn't it? So let me know in the chat. Smash the like button as well, guys. We've only got 32 likes on YouTube. We've got over 130 of you. There was 100 of you who haven't smashed that like button. So go ahead, and if you haven't already, on X as well, come on, show some love and support. We've got about 300 of you, around 300 of you in the building. It all helps. OG Chicken says 70 million because of Ekatike and Sesko. So you're just getting the price based on those players. But if you didn't think about those players, then what would your number be, right? Because it's interesting you mentioned that. We were speaking about Tyreek George yesterday, and I said, if I'm going to give Tyreek George a value, my value is 15 to 25, right? Probably 20, somewhere in the middle. But then you look at Broha, you look at Ugochukwu and the money that they're going for, and it does make you think, well, I think Tyreek George is probably better than both of them, especially in terms of the potential aspect. So you'd probably be looking at 20 to 30 million in that case. So if you are looking at other players, I think that does just push the price up. But at the same time, what do you actually think the value of the player is in itself? Because I think that Jackson's probably worth, a good 50, 60 mil. I think that's probably his value. And I think 55 is a fair deal. I think 60 is a good deal. I think 65 is a great deal. But if we are pushing to 70, and if clubs are willing to pay £70 million, we are pulling their pants down. Honest to God. Dwight says 80, but that is dollars. So we'll say £70 million, unless you meant pounds. Big up to you, my friend. Good to see you. We hate Spurs. Paul says Jackson can play the Garnacho role and cover in case the strikers isn't available. This is the thing. He is relatively versatile. Like, he can play out wide if need be, can drop deep, he can make the runs up forward. He can offer a few different things. 60 in that case. Okay, that's fair. That's a good compromise. 100 plus from Tennington Bell. Don't think you're going to find many clubs that are willing to pay that. 70 from Jeff. Let's go out Stamford Bridge and celebrate with our boys. Oh, shit. They've got that event right now at the bridge, don't they? Oh, my God. Are they streaming that anywhere? Are they live streaming that event? Is anyone streaming that event? I'd be very intrigued to see that, because I'll be honest with you, I haven't. Chelsea event live stream. Yeah, there's definitely no live stream for that, is there? How to watch Chelsea's historic. Okay, all right. So, yeah, there is a way to watch it. I think you need the app, though, if you want to watch the... Hey, that's pretty good, you know? Watch. I want something live. Fuck's sake. You just reminded me about this event, which I have to say, in fairness, I mean, I was never going to pay to go to an event and do all of that. Oh, for fuck's sake. I've got to sign in. Am I in? It's empty. For fuck's sake, the stadium's empty. The stadium's empty, guys. What the hell? There's nobody in the stadium. There's literally no one there. What? There's no one in the stadium. The seats are empty. What's going on? Oh my God. That's ridiculous. That is, oh, come on. I thought they sold this thing out. I'm just going to have that in the background. See if anything fun happens, anything funky. Well, that's embarrassing. I mean, big up to the WSL ladies. I'm not actually throwing shade at them because they're the ones who are walking out right now. But I'm just saying generally, I can't see anyone in the stadium. There's nobody there. Maybe everyone's on the other side. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh God. Maybe they only wanted to sell half. Maybe that was the idea. Yes, I think that's probably what they were looking to do. Fair enough. Well, we'll watch that in the background. In the meantime, let's just let's move on from that one. Oh, sorry, I've missed a few comments, haven't I? $93 total package can include add-ons, so that's for Jackson. That's a lot, mate. I like Jackson, but our standards are high, £70 million. Well, I've got it on the background now. I have got the presentation on in the background. I completely forgot it was on, to be honest with you. Maresca already said he doesn't see Jacobs MSP. Don't forget, we haven't heard from the Saudis yet. That's true. But if they were interested, we would have heard their name already, surely, right? He doesn't see Jackson as a left winger. I guess he can fit well into that in Newcastle. That's true. Newcastle will come in for him, 100 mil. Alexis Matos. God, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. You make a great point. A great point. We really don't need to be sitting here and paying to go in the stadium and watch the players lift the trophy. That deserves a top bus parade. It does. It deserves it. You've won the Club World Cup and a European trophy. You've won 2 trophies and you're not having a parade. Now, I appreciate the argument, which is, Chelsea's this great club and we've got massive standards, and we do have standards, obviously. I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying you have an open top bus parade for a Carabao Cup or just a Conference League on its own. But if you're winning 2 trophies, I feel like that's worth a celebration. I really do. Don't sit here and tell me you didn't celebrate hard when Palmer scored against PSG. Don't tell me you didn't. When Sanchez made those great saves and the distribution was good. You can't sit here and say that you weren't celebrating, because you were. I was. And I think that honestly, it would just be good for the club. But ultimately, they're raising, 160 grand or something like that. I think that's if they sold the whole stadium, though. So maybe it's not even that. They're not making that much money out of this presentation. But I guess it's a nice thing to do. They've got the players walking out now. Robert Sanchez is walking out. Cucurella as well. All of the players are going to come out. And then presumably they're just going to lift the trophy up. Fair play to him. That's what I say. Fair play. Right, again, come on, let's crack on, people. Let's crack on. Don't get too distracted, Alex. Garnacho is thought to be available for about £50 million, although Chelsea are understood to be reluctant to pay that. And again, I'm going to sort of backtrack to this tweet that I was tagged in a little while ago. Where is it? Here we go.
I don't.
Have a look at this one.
Mudryk is a better player than Garnacho.
I don't think we should sign Garnacho in January.
January, you didn't even need that.
No, leave that January bit out. What we
No,
need to
I
do
think
is
that in the summer, if he was
no.
to improve. Hang on a second.
Fair play. We found a way to downgrade on Mudryk. And Mudryk.
This one's golden, isn't it? I don't think that Garnacho is worse than Mudryk. I think that's harsh. I really think that's quite harsh. Garnacho is ultimately a player that is not performing at his best at the moment, but there is still plenty of potential there. And I think it'd be disingenuous to think that he can't improve at Chelsea. I think it would be. Just compare every single factor, every little thing, and say to yourself, what do Chelsea have that's better than Man United? And I think I could name a lot of things. Now, in terms of the manager, I actually think Amarim's a great manager, so I'm not going to make that debate, although Maresca's had a great finish to the season. So we won't talk about that, but what we can talk about is the system. The system that Maresca plays, I think, will be better for Garnacho. I think there's better players around him at Chelsea. I think that you're getting a pay rise at Chelsea. He's going to be on more than 45k. I think it's a less toxic environment. I think the training facilities will be better. I think that the coverage of the club will be better in terms of there's not as much pressure at Chelsea from a media perspective as a United. United have all this pressure, but it's all from the media. It's all media attention. Whereas Chelsea have an internal pressure, which is the fan base, the club, the board, the manager. There's just an expectation at Chelsea. Whereas at United, there's the pressure. I think there's a big difference, right? Because the expectation means that you expect to win. And Man United just have pressure to win. They don't actually go out and produce. It's almost surprising when they are able to get a result half of the time. And yeah, I'm looking at what United are doing. And by the way, I think their business has been pretty good. I saw a post from Fabrizio a couple of days ago, basically talking about everything that Omar, I think is it Barada, the new CEO who they took from Man City, and how great a job he's done. And I say, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Like he has done well, but they've got a long way to go. Cunha was a good signing and Buemo was a great signing. It's going to take more than 2 players to improve that team. But those 2 players are 2 very good players, and I'll give them that. But you look at the depth we have 2 good players in every position. I mean, if again we did this the other day, we spoke about the 2 lineups: left back Hato, Cucurella, right back Gusto, James, centre back Tosin, Chalobah, other side Colwell, Fofana, goalkeeper Sanchez. That's probably the one area I would improve. Midfield: Lavia, Caicedo, Isugo, Enzo Fernandez, Santos. You go further up the pitch, you've got Cole Palmer, you've got Esteval, Neto, Gittins, potentially Simmons, potentially Garnacho, João Pedro, Delap, Jackson. Oh, you've got fucking great options. Smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. Vivid Seats must be selling the tickets if no one is there. 10k a seat. Hey, man, we joke about it, but it's a real thing. It's true. But I don't think Vivid Seats is on that one, if I'm honest. Is it worth the hassle of organising a parade with the council for anything apart from the league? I think that the Club World Cup is an exceptional circumstance. It's every 4 years. You can't guarantee you'll even qualify. It's an elite competition. It is an elite competition. The money is elite. The trophy looks really good. And you're playing against top opposition. The fact that we beat PSG the way we did, we should have had a parade for that, I'll be honest. We need a new striker with all these, new keeper with all these strikers coming into the Premier League. I mean, I've certainly had that argument. By the way, even with Sanchez now, we're in a position where we will finish top 4, even with him in goal. But to win the league, I think we need more. But I'm open. I'm very open to being proven wrong. I'm very open to that. So listen, you go and do your thing. If you're going to perform like you did in the Club World Cup final, I'm not going to criticize that. That's fair. Realistically, Jackson is worth 50 mil max. All he does is miss. He can't shoot to save his life, but he would be a good third choice striker. So you agree with me? He would be a good third choice striker. But I mean, let's not sit here and act like he can't score. He gets you 10, 15 goals a season when he plays regularly, which is a lot better than other strikers. The last striker who was able to do that at Chelsea was Tammy Abraham. So, and before that was Diego Costa. So actually, Jackson was a lot better than a lot of the other strikers we signed. I think he was better than Higuain. I think he was better than, what's his name, Morata. I mean, we didn't even really have a striker at one point. We had Havertz, we had Lukaku. I prefer Jackson to all of those players. I know Lukaku's a better player, but for Chelsea, I think Jackson's actually done very well. And I think that he has improved. You know, that's the reality. But now we've realized that there is a ceiling and it's time for him to move on for the right price. Is Garnacho better than Madueke? I'd probably have to say no at the moment, but certainly an argument for that to potentially be the case after another season if he performs. Again, that depends on Madueke's performances as well. You saw the technical ability of João Pedro when he was at Brighton. Garnacho doesn't have half of that ability, even surrounded by better players. I don't think João Pedro is really the comparison I would make, but I appreciate your argument. For me, I'm just looking at whether Garnacho can improve, and I think the answer is yes. I mean, again, Jackson's not a technical player, and he's done pretty well for us. He's had a worse season this year than last season, but his first season he improved and he got really good towards the end. He was great. So this whole argument that you can't be a good player unless you're really technical, you can still be a good player. There's just room for improvement. He's 21 years old. Jackson's 24. You say, okay, well, he's probably not going to get much better. When you're 21, there is space to improve. And if you sign him for 30 million, you will get your money back. We did it with Dewsbury-Hall. Like, we would easily make a profit on Garnacho. It's a deal that makes sense. Do I think we're going to start the season with a fronted shirt sponsor? Probably not. But as long as we get the money, it doesn't really matter when we get it. And I feel like as much as people complain about the front of shirt sponsor, can we not just appreciate having a plain shirt and how nice it looks? It looks great. I mean, I like the Demac shirt at the end of last season. I like that, but I think it's quite trendy having the plain shirt. Where am I? I'm watching from home, mate. That's where I'm watching. I'm not going to the stadium. Can someone explain why we need United's leftovers? Garnacho is not that good anyway. Well, it's not that we need him. It's an opportunistic signing. Jadon Sancho was an opportunistic signing, and an opportunistic loan. Delap, opportunistic. It's all about finding opportunities in this market. And if you can get a player like Garnacho, who United were quoting 50, 60 million in January, and you're telling me you can get him for 50% of that price, or almost 50%, that's a whoopsie. And for those of you who don't know what a whoopsie is, it's when you go in a shop and you see, I don't know, I don't fucking know. What do you see? What do you see? Pepperami sticks for 10p, hummus for 20p, broccoli for 5p. You see all the yellow stickers on there. You go, bloody hell. If I get all of these things, I'm going to save £10 straight away. That's a whoopsie. You're taking money from the shop, not them from you, even though technically they're probably still making profit. You understand the point I'm making. Sometimes you don't intend. You go to the shop just to have a look. Sometimes what I do is I go to Tesco Express, which is pretty close to where I am, or Waitrose, because it's opposite where I live. I don't shop at Waitrose, right? I wish I could. I don't shop at Waitrose. But I will pop in and I'll see if they've got anything on a discount. And that's what Chelsea have done. They've had a look through the window at United, and they've seen, oh, maybe there is a deal here for Garnacho, and we can make something happen. And we can get this guy for a cutthroat price. Maybe that's a genuine opportunity that we can pursue. And it looks like Chelsea are pursuing that opportunity. So why anyone would be against that, I don't know. I think it's a perfectly reasonable deal. I think financially it makes sense. I think on a footballing side, it doesn't make us worse. He's not going to start for us. He'll be a rotation option. It's like João Felix. It's not that he was ever going to start ahead of Palmer, but you do need to have cover in these positions. You need to have options available in case someone gets injured. So it's only fair that you assess your options and you try and get the best one. And if you can get that for a cutthroat price, there's no issues. Why didn't they just do the presentation at halftime for the Leverkusen game? I have no idea. I don't know what the reasoning for it is. I might speak to the Chelsea Supporters Trust, see if they know anything. Man United only have a psychological problem. They can beat any team on any day. I mean, Raymond, if we're being honest, they don't beat anyone at the moment. So I'm not really sure what teams you're talking about, because they seem to lose to every team on every game. That's the history of United based on what we're seeing at the moment. It's a Wednesday afternoon. Everyone is at work, not wanting to take time off for a parade. Well, yeah, but that's fine. Just don't have the parade on a Wednesday afternoon. Have the parade on a Saturday or a Sunday. I mean, it's not that hard to organise something like that on a weekend. You're telling me, and I'm not getting political, but we can have all these marches all the time in London, all of these fucking protests that we see, and I agree with some of them, and I disagree with some of them. We're not getting into the details, and we can't organise a parade for Chelsea's success. Why can't we have a happy parade? It's always got to be fucking protests in London. So, yes, I would love a parade. I think that it's justified. The stadium's not empty. I mean, half of the stadium is empty. The other half is, well, basically the Matthew Harding, the Shed End, and the East Stand are empty. And the West Stand is full. There's people in the West Stand. Good to see you, Richard. Hope you're doing well. There is upside to Jackson, absolutely. It would be nice to see Estevao and Hato as well. Always good to see them. I don't have a link for you, mate. It's on the Chelsea app if you want to watch it. That's the only reason I'd see Garnacho coming in, for the owners to flip him next year. And if he performs, then we've got a great player for a cheap price. If he doesn't perform, we don't lose anything. There is no negatives from the Garnacho transfer. That's the reality of it. Because if he's crap, he won't play anywhere and he won't affect our performances. We will just get rid of him. Yeah, the trophy celebrations on the app, mate. I like the Garnacho signing for that price. He's not technically savvy. Did they forget that overhead? He has a higher ceiling than Madueke. I mean, look, I think Madueke has been okay, but I don't think he's broken the ceiling. And I think that Garnacho showed a lot of promise under Erik ten Hag. There is significant potential there that can be unleashed in the right environment, with the right management, in the right system. And maybe he just needs a fresh start. You could be at a school. I mean, I'm not saying anyone got bullied at school, but I've used this example before. You know, you don't have a nice time at your school, and then you go to a new school, and it could be totally different. You might have loads of friends and just enjoy things that you wouldn't have enjoyed at other schools. I mean, I can say that. I lived in Spain for a couple of years. For those of you who don't know, I lived in Barcelona for 2 years, and I lived in Mallorca for 6 months. And I really liked Barcelona. I had a good time there. I went to Mallorca. I made loads of friends. And then I come to England. I went to a different school, and I really struggled. I didn't have many friends when I come to England. So I ended up leaving that school. Sometimes you just need a good environment to get the best out of yourself. It's you know, the same in anything. And I don't think football is that different, except the fact that they're getting paid a shit ton and they're famous. A potential liability. But again, it is a bargain because you're not going to lose money. And I'm not talking about signing Garnacho for 50 million. I mean, that's a different argument. That's a risk. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not saying 40 or 50 million. I'm saying 30. I've always said 30. I said 30 in January. I said, if I can get Garnacho for that price, then I'm all over it. And people seem to go, oh, United won't sell for that. But, well, nobody else is putting any offers through. And the player's desperate to leave and they need to raise some funds. So he is their most sellable asset and it's 30 million in profit. They have to say yes unless they get a better deal. Otherwise, they're just going to have to keep paying his wages and they're going to have an unhappy dressing room with an unhappy player. Loan with an option would be good. That's fair, but I don't think United would accept. I hate that Estevan presentation. I didn't see the presentation, to be honest. I didn't see what was so wrong with it. What was bad? Hello, Andrew. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. If the sporting directors bring him for 30 million, I would be gassed. Exactly, mate. Let's not forget Conte bid 45 million for 6 shitty Garnacho, and it was a poor decision from United not to accept that. In the grand scheme, they're probably very disappointed that they didn't accept it in hindsight. I never lived in New York, mate. I lived in Barcelona for 2 years, and I was 12 years old when I lived in Barcelona. If we pay more than 30 million for Nashers, I would be fuming because we can get better players for that price. My limit is 35. 35 is like, that's a compromise on both sides. 30 is good for us. 25 is great for us. 20 is, we're taking the piss. Like, oh my God. Yes, it's been ages, mate. Good to see you on here, Andrew. Always a pleasure. Listen, we're going to keep cracking on with the news. We've got over 600 of you in total on all platforms, almost 500 on X, just under 200 on YouTube. Smash that like button if you haven't already, guys. If you are on YouTube, let's smash that like button. I really appreciate it. I'm trying my best to keep the streams consistent. We're on 76 likes. Let's get up to 100. Come on, people. There's over 160 of you. Let's get up to 100. And on X as well, you can support, you can like, you can retweet. It all helps. It all helps, guys. Right. Let's continue, guys. Let's continue from where we were. So we have spoken about what's his name? Jackson. We've spoken about Garnacho. Let's quickly touch on a couple of other updates that we've had in recent moments. We've had a couple. Also, by the way, just to let you know, Maresca and Reece James are carrying the Club World Cup trophy out to the fans as we speak. which is always a pleasant sight. Pedro Neto said, we're motivated to do even better this season. So, listen, we're hoping for bigger and better things. I'm all for it. I love the enthusiasm. I love the optimism. It's about time we started having that around Chelsea, but not this blind faith thinking that any old project can be successful. Can we not just look at it and say to ourselves, and this is a very, very, this is a time where we can genuinely look at this. And I'm losing my wording. Ugh. Let's start again. Let's be optimistic about Chelsea. Simple as that. Big up Pedro Neto. Chelsea believes Nicholas Jackson is worth more than 75 million. Package has been submitted for Sesko, and also the 79 million that Liverpool and Frankfurt paid. Liverpool paid Frankfurt for Ekitike. Again, I think that is absolutely fair. But I don't think that we'll get that money, even if that's what they want. I don't think that we are going to get that. Quite a few updates coming up. My God, we've got loads in the past sort of few minutes. Chelsea are losing one of the most promising academy talents, with Donald McNeely having turned down their offer of a new deal. So again, another player who was rejected Chelsea's contract offer. We had another player who left to join Liverpool. Apparently he's a really good talent. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I don't think this is something we want to be making a habit of doing, especially if we do actually want to give these players contracts. They must be half decent. So is there a part of the player that's thinking, maybe I am just going to be used as an asset to flip if I sign this new deal? And a lot of players are starting to wake up to the fact that we're going to put you on a long contract. You're not going to have control, and you're going to be either loaned out or sold to a club of our choice at some point in the future. So they just want to take a little bit more control of their career. I think there's a genuine chance that is the case. Sources in Esteval's camp insist he will be staying within Maresca's first team for the upcoming season. And insiders at the club have also confirmed that Chelsea got in loan inquiries on Esteval this summer, but it is believed that he can contribute. Well, I'm all for Esteval. I'm all for it. Bear with me for a second. I need to eat something. I feel sick. Oh. Oh, I don't know what that is. I feel a bit dizzy. Give me some sugar. Food menstrual. That'll do the job. Fucking hell. No, I'm not diabetic. No, I'm not diabetic. I just felt a bit lightheaded. Yeah. All right. Beautiful. All right. It's all on my teeth now. Raheem Sterling is training separately from Chelsea's main group, but there are no hard feelings, but both parties recognise the need for a clean break. Sterling's preference is to stay in London. And again, these are the clubs that we're looking at. We've got West Ham, Fulham, Crystal Palace, and apparently there's a few clubs in Europe as well that are interested. My guess is probably some Italian clubs, I can imagine, but they don't have any money. So I doubt there's anything significant that can come of that because the Italians don't really want to spend, and his wage is extortionate. So I don't see anything happening in Europe. What I could see is potentially a Saudi offer from a monetary perspective, or maybe a deal in the MLS. Those are deals where you say, okay, the money adds up there. But again, if his preference is to stay in London, the biggest club out of the three is West Ham, but Crystal Palace are going to be playing European football. So is that a factor that could affect his decision potentially going to Crystal Palace? But I would also say out of all of the clubs as well, Fulham under Marco Silva seem to be going on a real upward trajectory. So Fulham's a stable club. Palace are looking good. West Ham, they're rebuilding. I mean, he'll certainly get game time at West Ham. I can't imagine any different. All of those offers seem to be kind of attractive in their own way. Although I can't imagine he really enjoyed working under Graham Potter at Chelsea. So maybe that puts him off of the West Ham move, in fairness. I mean, I've said this. I've spoken to West Ham fans quite a few times. I do think that Graham Potter will do a good job for West Ham. But this is a manager that needs time. I mean, he needs time. And I think what he did with Brighton was great. Ultimately, he needs the backing of the ownership and as much of a backing from the fan base as he can possibly get. But if I had to guess out of the three, I'm just going to put it out there. I'd probably say Crystal Palace number 1, Fulham number 2, West Ham number 3. And I believe the reason that West Ham is number 3 is because of Potter. I think if Potter wasn't there and there was a different manager, maybe you could see something else. But the prospect of playing in Europe for Palace, I think, is great. And I think Fulham, obviously being in West London, is great. But West Ham's sort of the other side. It's a little bit more annoying in that sense. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, none of the clubs can actually afford the money that he wants at the moment. But the idea is that if he really cares about his career, he'll take a pay cut. And then he'll be able to play regular football somewhere else. So the answer is no, but hopefully yes, in the sense that he will change his demands. And he'll go from being on, let's just say, 320 grand a week to 150, which is a big pay cut. But it's a pay cut that, to be quite frank, even those clubs would probably struggle to pay. But I reckon for a player with his experience on maybe a shorter term deal, there could be a compromise. I mean, he's only got 2 years left on his Chelsea contract. So if one of these clubs offers him a 4-year contract at maybe even less money, just the stability of knowing that you've got that contract could be enticing for him. But there's no pressure if he just wants the bag. I mean, he's going to get that. He's gonna get that at Chelsea, regardless whether he plays or not. Oh, I can see Charlie filming. I can see Charlie. I can see Charlie filming. Can I please backtrack? Oh, I can't backtrack. Fuck. I saw Charlie with his phone at the celebration. Charlie loves it, doesn't he? He loves it. Oh, that's great. Reece James with the Club World Cup trophy. Jackson will be as ceiling value-wise, he will only drop in price if he stays due to a lack of game time. Bringing the young lad from Strasbourg early, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, to be fair, if we were looking at another third-choice striker, like Mark Gibbs, a great option. But he's gone off to Sunderland. That's the best thing for his development. So I've got nothing against that. Who's taking Disasi? Disasi has like people that are interested in him, but it's money, guys. It's money. And it's not a wage problem with the Sassy. It's the transfer fee. You know, we want 30, 40 million for this guy. Wagwan Donna, as usual, I'm back supporting you like a loyal member of the channel. Alex, no matter where I go, I'll always return to your warm embrace. Good to see you, Donna. Always good to see you in the building. Smash the like button as well, guys, if you haven't already. Got 150 of you on YouTube. I've now officially recovered from my whatever the hell happened earlier. But we've only got 93 likes. Come on, people. Let's get up to at least 100. Come on. Right, we've got 10 minutes left of the show. What else have I missed? Have I missed anything else? I feel like I have, because a few things just popped up. Have I missed anything else? We've spoken about Garnacho. We've spoken about... There's one. This is one we haven't spoken about. Well, we've got to dedicate some time to this. I mean, Cucurella, the best left back in the Premier League, arguably the best left back in the world. This man, one of the few players that Todd Bowley signed. And that was a successful signing on a large contract, but a contract that, in fairness, we have to say we can justify it. We have to justify it. It's incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. If we look at the wages that Chelsea players are on at the moment, Cucurella is on the higher end of those wages. He's on 175k. He is one of the few players who isn't on an incentivized contract like the other players. So, for example, let's just look at Cole Palmer. He's on 130 grand, but that is before Champions League. So, I mean, actually, I can show you this as well. I don't mind sharing my screen. There's a lot of adverts that are coming up here, but you can see their wages, right? You can see it. So these are our higher earners. Sterling, by far the highest paid. Then you've got Reece James, Wesley Fofana, and Kunku, Fernandez, Cucurella at 175. Now, that is a perfectly justifiable wage. I have no issue paying 175k for the best left back in the world. Not a problem. Honestly, I say put him up to 200. The guy has earned it. He deserves it. He smashed it. And you can offset Raheem Sterling's wages. You can offset Nkunku's wages because it looks like he might be sold. You can offset Wesley Fofana's wages, although that won't happen. I would happily get rid of Fofana. It wouldn't bother me at all. There is plenty of money that can be spared for these guys. And then obviously you can see Caicedo, Palmer, Tosin, all around that mark as well. It says that Ben Chilwell's on 100k. That's not true. Ben Chilwell's on far more than 100k. You can look at Jesus Christ. Is this accurate, guys? Tell me Chalobah's on 50. Apparently, Bro was sold for around 20 million, guys. No, I didn't get chlamydia. I just felt a bit dizzy, that's all. Alex, what did you think the time frame on Xavi Simons is? Do you think Garnacho arrives before him? Good question. I think that the Xavi Simons deal will happen. It's the 6th of August. The transfer window closes on the 1st of September. I reckon the Xavi Simons deal gets done around the 20th, around that mark. So a couple of weeks. And I think that the Garnacho deal will happen at a similar time. I think both of those deals will be done around the end of the window. Finish with a bang, eh? The cherry on top. Donna is wilding. Yeah, she is. Big up, Lutugenci. Hope you're doing well. Raymond says, if Maresca gave Chilwell the same support he gave Gusto, we could be selling him to Al Nassr at 60 million. Mate, let's be honest. Chilwell's never going to play over Cucurella. Let's not even have that conversation. It's just not worth having. If you're trying to argue that Cucurella should be dropped for Ben Chilwell, when Ben Chilwell is clearly the same profile as Gusto, likes to overlap, and wouldn't be able to invert to save his life, then I just think that that's a bit of a strange logic to have. Gabriel Slanina, he is one of our goalkeepers, mate. Very young goalkeeper that we signed. Damn. I mean, I might need to double check. I know that the top ones are accurate. I know that. I'm just surprised about some of the other ones. I thought that Robert Sanchez was on 100K. I thought that Chukwuemeka was on 100. I know Gusto's on 45. Like some of them, I thought Dasasi was on like 90. I feel like I need to just fact check myself on this. Let's fact check this. So we've got another website here. So it says Sterling's on 325. Yes, okay. Oh my God. That's right. Chukwuemeka's only on 50K. Wow. Fair play. Fair play. That is mad. Andre Santos was on 30K. He's got no money. Oh my God. No wonder Vega wants to leave. He's on 25. Tyreek George is on 7.5. Oh my God, we're stealing from these kids. They're supposed to be rich. I mean, they're already rich, but you know what I mean when you see the difference between the numbers. My God. That is a wage and a half. I thought Chile was way higher. Why is it saying he's much lower? He's saying he's on 100. It'd probably be us, if I'm honest, isn't it? We just sold so many players, but we didn't do that over one window, did we? We did that over a couple of windows. What have I been buying on Temu? Yeah, the bonuses are probably unreal. I reckon they're sensational. Those bonuses, they're like the best bonuses you can get. Without a shadow of a doubt. Totally agree with that. But yeah, this Cucurella contract needs to be wrapped up. Like, this isn't even really a conversation. I mean, it was a conversation because I thought at one point maybe Chelsea won't do it because we're really stingy and, you know, all we care about is profit and this and that. Are we actually going to support our established players who are already here? Like, that was always a concern of mine. Of course, you'd be happy to give a player who's on 50K a pay rise to extend, but, you know, that's kind of what we did with Palmer. We gave him 130. But what do you do with a player who's already on 175K or 200K? How do you reward them for their performances? How do you extend that? So I just think that there's a line, there's a fine line, and you want the player to feel valued ultimately. I think that Cucurella deserves 200K. I think he does deserve it. Honestly, if we offload Nkunku and a lot of these other guys, I pay him 250. I wouldn't have a problem with it. You're looking at an elite footballer, one of the best in his position. He's able to command a good wage. And Chelsea need to fucking cash in. Pay the money. Club World Cup bonuses would have been incredible. Probably like $1 million each. Honestly. No, was it? No, it wasn't 3. I heard it was about 300K each or something like that. 300,000 each, which is, I mean, that's nice. My cheeks are red. I work outside, so that's probably why. If Bluco cashes in on George and Achimpong, I'll explode. Well, George wants to leave, so I mean that's nothing to do with them. Achimpong, I think, will stay. So I think that's a deal that George would almost certainly be sold because he wants game time. That's the one thing Chelsea are not able to offer him. We're not able to offer him game time. Hey, listen, guys, really appreciate your time. We've got just over 700 of you on all platforms. Love it. Great support. Appreciate everyone watching the whole way through. Appreciate everyone that's jumped on during the stream as well. I'm literally going to finish this. I'm going to upload a video straight away talking about Jackson. And listen, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I will be back tomorrow afternoon / evening for another stream. Appreciate all of you guys. We will catch up very